What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I am bringing you a review on the Hoka Bondi X everyday carbon plated running shoe. So earlier this week, these bad boys turned up in the post, and I'm really excited to get them out and show you what they're like. Now, I have always ran in Hoka. I am somebody who struggled with shin splints for a number of years now. Although Hoka doesn't get rid of shin splints, it definitely helps reduce the impact of road running, which is the main type of running that I do. And to be fair, I just really like the fit, I really like the cushioning, I like the ride. Yes, they're chunky shoes, but that's just what I like. I do have race shoes when I'm racing, but for all my everyday miles, I've always reached for a pair of Hokas. So when I was researching carbon plated shoes, I looked to see what Hoka had on their roster, and to be fair, the Bondi X was the one that I wanted to try immediately. I've run in the Bondi 6 before and absolutely loved them, so it was a no-brainer for me to order the Bondi X. So earlier this week, these turned up, and to be honest with you, I really like them. And there's some people might not really like the chunky heels, but to be fair, I actually really like the look of them. They're really light for a chunky running shoe. I'm actually surprised by how light they are. So my plan is to get out and do some of my low heart rate running in these, and then come back and give you a review of fit, feel, how they ran, and just basically a really good overview of my thoughts of the Hoka Bondi X. First impressions are, they are super stiff, but that's got to be the carbon plate inside. Really big cushioned heel, and I think they will suit my running style really well. So without further ado, let's get these bad boys on, let's take them out for a few runs. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching to see my review of the Hoka Bondi X. So I'm finally ready to give you my review on the Hoka Bondi X carbon plated running shoe. Now, as you can see from the bottoms, I've done a ton of miles in this shoe, loads of different terrains, hit out about 40 odd miles, and I think now I'm probably in a good position to say what I think about this brand new carbon plated running shoe. So, bit of details on the spec. Carbon Bondi X is a max cushion shoe, ideally suited to road running. It feels pretty light, but it does weigh 10.6 ounces, 300 grams. It has a 33mm stack height and a 5mm heel to toe drop. There is an embedded carbon plate into the compression molded EVA sole. And I guess what you're thinking straight away is, holy bejesus, look at the size of that bloody sole. And yeah, it's massive. It has a life of its own sometimes. I reckon small animals could burrow in there and create a home. But to be fair, that's Hoka's for you, especially max cushion, easy mile running shoes. And these are no different. So the upper, mesh upper, nice and breathable, snug fit, very small tongue, but to be honest with you, I didn't have any issues with that. Super long laces. I mean, I could probably tie all these around, just super long laces. I had to double, triple knot these, and it was just like, yeah, too long Hoka. Laces are too long. And because they're a carbon plated shoe, super stiff. but that's what I kind of expected anyway. So my review, how did I find them? Well, it's a kind of like a bit of a mishmash of a design really. We've got an easy run max cushioned shoe, sort of combined with a carbon plate, which is usually seen in kind of racing shoes. But to be honest with you, it really, really kind of works. Now, when I first went out and ran in these, I was kind of kicking the inside of my ankles with this rather large sole. Now, I do have quite a narrow gait, which I'm trying to fix, and I was kind of kicking the inside of my ankles every now and then, but that 1 or 2 runs down and that kind of went. So all the miles that I did felt typically Hoka-esque, which means it feels like you're running on clouds. And I've said that so many times to so many people who are thinking about buying Hokas. Now, I don't really know what I was expecting from the shoe, having never ran it in a carbon plated shoe before. And for the first couple of runs, I don't really think I felt the full benefit of it. I was just out doing some easy miles, but I had a session where I put in some extra little bit of chunks of speed, was up on my toes, and that's when I really felt the carbon plate come into its own. So as soon as you're up on your toes, you can feel the effect of that carbon plate just pushing you forward a little bit. And once I got that through my head and started to adapt my longer runs to run more four-footed, which I'm trying to improve my overall running form anyway, to run more on my mid and forefoot instead of on my heels. As soon as I started to do that on all of my runs, I could really feel the benefit of the carbon plate. Now, as I said before, the upper felt really nice. It held my foot into place really well, which you really need when you're running in such a high stack height shoe. I've got quite narrow feet, and I did feel that the toe box was quite big, but again, that's probably just my feet. Now, I normally buy shoes half a size bigger than I would wear in my everyday sort of trainers that I walk around in, and my first sort of feeling when I put these on was, oh, I've probably bought the wrong size here. I probably could have bought an 8, but once I'd strapped myself in, I'd gone out and done a couple of runs, yeah, 8.5, I'm an 8, absolutely fine. They fit really well, there's no slippage, didn't have any hot spots. Nice little hook here to get them on with, which is always handy on the back of Hokas. But overall, I was really happy with how I felt out running in them. And as I said, I've run with Hokas before, they always feel really good. But these are just kind of like a combination between your everyday easy run shoe and something that wants to cope with a little bit of pace. So what is my overall verdict? To be honest with you, if you want a shoe that you can go out and do tons of miles at easy pace running, but also a shoe that will kind of cope with a little bit of speed thrown into your sessions, then you won't go far wrong with a pair of Hoka Bondi X. When I go out on some of my runs, I'm doing maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 miles. I can throw some speed in there, and I haven't got to worry that these just won't cope with it. Now, would I take these out on a fast 5k or a 5k race? Probably not, to be honest with you. But if I want to go out and use one shoe for everyday running, and that will also cope with some interval work, some threshold runs, for me, the Hoka Bondi X will definitely cope with that. I'm really happy with my purchase. These have now taken their place as my preferred everyday running shoe, and I'm not scared to throw in some intervals in there or some speed work in there as well, wearing the Hoka Bondi X. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. I do loads of videos all about low heart rate running, covering all my training and some basic product reviews. I'm just giving you my honest feedback on products that I pay my own money for. So if you found this interesting, yeah, hit me a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.